Hey Tali, are you ready for the start of Season 3?
Oh, stand back, Evie. This is way too dangerous for a non-98th percentile player like you. Just leave it to the big boys, okay?
What are you doing?
Only my best start to a season ever. I'm on the verge of world first Dimensius, Evie.
Tali.
Completely solo, and a week before anyone else has even entered the raid.
Tali.
They'll sing songs about me for this, Evie. Liquid and Echo can eat my shit and hair because I'm about to be the first person on Earth to kill Dimensius.
Tali.
Okay, let's do this thing. Go! Ah! Take that, Void Lord scum! Did I win? Where's my loot? Where's the cinematic?
Tali, did you seriously only just get around to doing the lore walking quest?
No, I just saw a big question mark on my map and clicked on it. Was that not the raid Dimensius then?
No, Tali.
So there's no cinematic then?
Not for that fight, no.
Right. Okay. Well, it's lucky I didn't make a big deal out of it or anything then.
That would have been very embarrassing. Hey, don't be sad. Have some Valor Stones.
Knowledge is power.
Hello Internet, Tali Again here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, Tali Again and Evertel's Wondrous Wisdom Show. In a week where we are going to be talking about how you should go and put in a crafting order for your upgraded cloak fiber right now. You do know that you can get an upgraded cloak fiber and it's a crafting order, right? I know you know, I'm just making sure. Go and do that. Go and do that right now. But also, this week, we are of course talking patch 11.2. Ghosts of Koresh, the launch of the patch, and what was in the patch, and what was not in the patch, what we liked about the patch, what we didn't like about the patch, and what is coming next in this week, and some tasty new hints at what is coming even further down the line. So lots of them basically, and to get us started, here's Evertel with the rundown on the latest news.
Welcome to Evie's News Rundown. Let's run down. The Delvers race is over. The region-wide competition between Horde and Alliance to complete 1 million delves, securing a feat of strength achievement, special faction-themed customizations for your Delver's dirigible, and, most importantly, a little flag on Bran's little table for, ever? I'm guessing forever? Well, it's over, and the Alliance won in both NA and EU, thank goodness. It would just be a bit weird if Bran had to stand there with a little Horde flag on his little table, what with there being no Horde characters in Dornogal or the whole of the War Within. Regardless, this was cool and fun, if very quick. Maybe make it 2 million delves next time so that it lasts more than 3 days? Midnight news. Yeah, seriously. While everyone was getting stuck into the new patch, some NA players were able to see a preview of the as-yet unannounced and unconfirmed pre-order packages for the next expansion, all loaded up and presumably ready to pop after the reveal at Gamescom next week. These follow the now well-established format of 3 different tiers of pre-order. The base version for $50 which gives you Midnight, a level 80 character boost, 500 traders tender, and, as expected, housing early access, which, if the 2025 roadmap is anything to go by, and so far it is our only thing to go by, looks like it will be landing around late autumn, early winter this year. The $70 Heroic Edition gives you all that plus an extra 500 tendies, the Light Strader Raiment Transmog set, and a Lightwing Dragonhawk mount. You might say it's quite light on rewards compared to the Epic Edition, which costs $90 gives you all that plus Void versions of the Transmog set and mounts, another 1,000 tendies on top, 2 pets, access to the Midnight Beta, and 3 days early access to the launch of the expansion. The same early access move they pulled with the War Within, and which, in my personal experience and opinion, was a massive failure and made for a really weird launch of the game. It didn't feel good. It dampened hype for War Within. It's bound to do the same for Midnight, and that's a shame. And annoying, since it's clearly only a thing anyway, because someone at Microsoft has done a spreadsheet and worked out that it'll make them an extra X amount of $bucks. Which is great, congrats on your $bucks, but that's kind of the definition of knowing the cost of everything and the value of nothing, in my opinion. Lucky for Microsoft and Blizzard, I'm just a dumb pretty girl who is easily distracted by shiny things, and so I'm far more interested in the player housing items also included in the Epic Edition. Light and void fountains and gazebos, and portraits of Alleria, Turalyon, Eretor, and Xalatath. Isn't it amazing to think that all we've got to do is not die for another 4 or 5 months, and we will actually be alive when player housing happens in WoW with gazebos? Oh, one little thing. The Alleria portrait is titled the Ranger General, which is weird because she's not Ranger General and never has been. Is this a sign that she is set to become Ranger General of Silvermoon and Midnight? That would make sense, right? Because right now the Ranger General is Haldoran, who is obviously a member of the Horde, and we can't have Horde characters in a new World of Warcraft expansion. Far better to get an Alliance character in there to do the job instead. I'm joking. Sort of. But seriously, if Haldoran is your favorite character, if you are really excited for Midnight because you just can't wait to see what your fave elf ever, Haldoran, is going to be doing, and what kind of crazy adventures that goofball Haldoran is going to get up to, just a word of warning to maybe not get too excited. I've got a feeling he might not be too much longer for this world. So this could be a big hint about the Midnight story, or it could just not be. Don't forget, all this stuff was not meant to be seen in game and was taken down as soon as people started noticing it. The images these bundles are using are the old War Within ones. The Ranger General thing could easily just be a mistake. And even if it's not, it's a portrait, not canon lore. I could paint a picture of Thrall and call it the Ranger General. It doesn't mean he is. It could be a concept, a fan art. It could be a portrait they had done and ready before she decided she didn't want to be Ranger General after all. That would actually be really funny. I hope it's that. What I'm saying is, there will be plenty of time to get angry about this when the Midnight reveal clarifies loads of stuff in a few days. Of course, we'll be including a link to this Wowhead article and a handful of others you might be interested in the description below. In the meantime, there's 11.2 to be angry about, so Tali, what should we be angry about? Ghosts of Koresh.
Oh, Evie, believe me, there is plenty to be angry about in 11.2, and I've compiled it all into an internet-friendly list because it is now time for the hits and misses of 11.2 so far. The first big hit was the opening cinematic, an absolute sizzler that set the scene wonderfully with Hot Shadow Guard, Darkheart, Locust Walker and Venari exposition, and of course, Xalatath feat action. Yes, after a whole Undermine patch where we didn't see seriously even 1 foot, and we thought maybe Blizzard got a bit embarrassed about it all. No, they're back! There's nothing to be ashamed of. There they are, patch saved. The cinematic is a great intro to the patch, absolute banger, 10 out of 10, no notes. The first miss of the patch though, was that you may well have completely missed that cinematic. Actually, I know for a fact that many of you did, because it doesn't play when you first log in, as you might expect. Instead, when you first talk to Locust Walker to start the quests that take you to Koresh, there's a non-mandatory speech bubble option which is labelled "Review what happened before we got to Koresh," and clicking on that triggers the cutscene for the first time. And I don't know about you, but the use of the words review and before definitely made it seem to me like it was one of those things that was going to show you an old cinematic to remind you of the story so far. When I clicked on it, I was fully expecting the Undermine epilogue cinematic to play, with the reveal of Koresh and the Dark Heart at the end of it. But no, it was actually a very cool and important cinematic that you really should see. Like I say, I know for a fact many of you missed that cutscene. Confusing. Big win though for the in-game cutscenes that play throughout questing. Now there's been a lot of discourse recently, hasn't there, about the Stromgarde questline in 11.1.7 and the janky in-game that plays at its climax. And my opinion has always been that A, it's weird how we only seem to have these conversations when Faerun is involved for some reason. B, I don't even think it is a bad cutscene actually. There's some fun camera angles in it, and yeah, it's extremely goofy. But sir, may I introduce you to the video game worldofwarcraft.com. It is generally kind of fun and goofy. That's like its whole thing. C, even if it is really janky, I'd still much rather have it in the game than no cutscene at all. And most importantly for this conversation, D, the big D, the hot D, it's unfair to talk about that Stromgarde cutscene like it's representative of WoW in-game cutscenes in general, which in recent years have been excellent. And that's definitely the case in Ghosts of Koresh. The opening crawl that introduces the city, very cool and charming. The attack on Tazavesh, great. Basically anything involving Xal'atath, grade A, top shelf, 18 karat awesomeness, obviously. We're gonna get into the story in just a moment, but first, another big miss for the patch, the unusual amount of bugs that launched with it. Honestly, I thought I was back in Azj-Kahet. Because of all the bugs. A new patch always has something wrong with it, which is reasonable to a certain degree, and everything that I encountered and which I heard about was small potatoes compared to 11.1.7. There was nothing on the scale of a whole event just not working, like Nightfall, or people's entire banks getting cleaned out. Something which, by the way, at a time when in-game gold has measurable direct world monetary value, is probably a lawsuit waiting to happen, frankly. But small as they might be, there were loads of bugs. Quests would often refuse to progress, requiring players to log all the way out to the war camp screen and back again to get it going. Banks remained unrobbed as far as I know, but in many cases, the language switched. Many of my friends logged in to find that their bank was now in German, and it's not like they dislike German, more that they just can't really understand German, which made their bank being in German now kind of confusing, and fair play. And also, there are some very strange GoldenEye 64-ass textures going on here. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think this is meant to be the case. Maybe it is, in which case, sorry, but also, that's weird. Look, I don't like that. Worst of all, I have a chef's hat on my head now every time I log into my main. Still, and that does kind of ruin my badass 40k Inquisitor transmog. A big win is definitely the zone. It's so absurdly atmospheric and last patch of an expansion feeling. Tazavesh is an amazing hub that is probably WoW's best ever example of reusing past assets. And the broken planet is sparse and desolate in a way that evokes Outland in the Burning Crusade, but is also totally its own thing. I love the void ice caused by void meteors tearing through into our reality and the reflection of the great dark beyond cosmos in it. I absolutely love the eco-domes with their incessantly insistent, hopeful music working as a genuine respite from the barren space desert. And big win for the story too. We talked about this during the PTR, but I really do like the choices that the writers have made with the ethereal story and history. The twin twists of Xal'atath basically creating the ethereals so that they could survive Dimensius, and Locust Walker and his buddies blowing up the planet to destroy the Void Lord. That's all really good. I especially liked watching and being complicit in Zali's manipulation of the Wastelander oracles. Although, interestingly, there's a very revealing line about the Harbinger's origin that was on the PTR, but hasn't actually made it to the live game. I wonder if that's being saved for later, or if it's being completely scrapped and isn't actually canon. And you want to know what it is, don't you? Well, you're gonna have to go back and watch our 11.2 PTR spoilers video for that one, my friend. Big bulging miss, though, on the time gating of the story, leaving us waiting for reinforcements for a week after the Oracle ritual, which, okay, I get it. It's not really a spoiler to tell you that the end of the next chapter leaves us directly outside the door of the raid, ready to go in and take on Dimensius, just like the end of all campaign quests. And I get that the devs probably feel it would be weird to have us waiting there politely for a week, but honestly, this isn't less weird, and as someone that did the story all in one go on the PTR and loved it, I genuinely think that this time gating is way less satisfying or fun than just letting us do it. It's not a huge problem, but I really do wish that they'd stop doing this. The dungeon is probably a win, but I'm going to reserve judgment on that until I've played it properly in Mythic Plus. The soft start to Season 3 is definitely a win. Mythic gear and vault packing being relevant goes a long way to adding a real sense of endgame purpose to this first week. Big win for the new Delve too, for being incredibly short and sweet so I could unlock all of the new levels of difficulty and fill my vault nice and easy, but much more so for the new Tombstone feature that lets you see where other players have died in the Delve. This is just, it's brilliant. Whoever put this into the game deserves a big fat raise and a promise to not get laid off for like a whole other year or something, because honestly, what is not to love about seeing a headstone informing you that your guildie Rico got deleted by mobs in a level 8 and then being able to go on social media and tease him about it publicly? There is very little better than that. The remembered ghosts are a bit strange though. Unlike the graves, which are dotted around the delves, I've only seen the spirits of killed players at the very beginning or very end of the instance, and I'm guessing that's not actually where they died? Like, did Machaperino really not make it out of the entrance hall? Did accepting the quest or changing Brand's curios kill her? Did Blackwater become overwhelmed at the sight of all the gold in the end treasure room and keel over in shock? And also, whose idea was it to make the memory ghosts just have to do degrading chores for eternity in the afterlife? If they're not fixing stuff on the walls, they're scrubbing floors. And okay, we've established they may not be exactly cut out for adventuring, sure, but this seems a little bit harsh. Sylvanas got off lightly, apparently. Super massive win for the new Nemesis Delve, Kaivessa. What I like to call the Mage Tower Delves have been a highlight of the expansion for me, and this new version is the best of the bunch. No real damage check to speak of, just a 4-mechanic dance that will one-shot you for every and any mistake that you make. Just completing the easy Kaivessa version got my blood pumping, and I still haven't managed to get halfway in Kaivessa yet, because man, what those charging assassins count as you facing them is extremely unforgiving. But I do have an absolute ball every time I go in there. The Reshi Wraps, they're well, look, they're definitely not a miss, okay? But I don't really want to go as far as calling them a win either. They're fine, you know? They're okay. Phase diving is very pretty. I really love the teleporting that comes with it. Overall, the Reshi Wraps and the phase diving gimmick is a neat little thing that probably isn't done any favors by being sold as a genuine feature of the patch, you know? If it was just a thing, it would be a really cool thing. As a feature, it feels incredibly whelming. I think we're all very whelmed by phase diving. I want to finish here on one last big win though, the Big Dragon World Boss dude, who spent the entire first week absolutely creaming groups by being so evil as to have not one, but 2 whole mechanics. Yes, a phase shift and a big damage tick means it was not unusual for groups to take over 10 minutes to down Reshinor this week, with much wailing and gnashing of teeth and cursing Blizzard's dumb boss from lots of members of the groups I was in. And that's just really funny to me. That's a definite win, yes. Of course, this week coming is where it all really kicks off, with the exciting conclusion of the pre-raid campaign and the beginning of Season 3, with Mythic Plus opening and Manaforge Omega, which will give us our first real taste of what it's like to fight a Void Lord, including the bit of the fight shown fleetingly in the launch trailer, flying through space towards this city-shaped boy while he tries to zap you with a massive laser from his chest. And like seriously, I'm giving you a raid fight where you swoop through space on your dragon or pig or whatever towards a city-sized Void Lord while he tries to zap you with a laser out of his chest. What more do you want? Are you not entertained? And I say space, but you know, there are 5 different maps associated with the Dimensius fight in the Dungeon Journal, and the last one is called The Dark Heart. So there's that. I, along with many others, will be glued to various streams on Tuesday night, hoping to get a proper eyeful of that fight for story reasons and for the cinematic that will almost certainly play at the end. The cinematic which should go a long way towards setting the scene for midnight. And that gets me very excited indeed. I hope you like cinematic analysis and speculation videos, because you are going to get some cinematic analysis and speculation videos, okay? But what do you think of the patch so far? Did the story and vibe vibe with you? What was your launch day experience like? Which language was your bank changed into? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual, real-life money to make all of our work happen. And patrons, as always, sincerely from the bottom of my dark heart, thank you. Because without you, there would be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evertel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. And remember, my name is so breezy. No, my name is Taliesin from me and Evertel. Until next time, cheerio.